Can you knock out monsters using the Sword and Shield in Monster Hunter Now? The answer is yes. In this video, I'll be showing you my KO build for the Sword and Shield. Let's not waste any more time and let's talk about the armor pieces you will need. For this build, we'll be using the Grade 6 Barath Vambraces and the Barath Waist for the guard skill, the Diablo's Mail and the Diablo's Legs for Slugger, and lastly the Kulu Helm for the lock-on skill, which we will need to target the monster's head. Rounding out the build with 3 points in guard, 3 points in slugger, and lock on. The bonus skills if you upgrade these pieces are Defense Boost from the waist, Part Breaker from the legs, Heroics from the mail, and Crit Eye from the Kulu Helm. For the weapon, we'll be using the Jiro's Sword and Shield, and later I will be explaining why we need to use this specific weapon. Now you might be asking, why do we need guard and do we really need all 3 points? Well, in order to KO monsters, we need to deal blunt attacks to the head, and the Sword and Shield's blunt attacks come at the last 3 hits of its combo. By blocking monster attacks, we skip the first part of the combo and go directly into the Roundhouse Slash into the 3-hit Shield Bash combo. In fact, these last 4 hits of the combo actually deal the most damage. Usually, you don't even get to the Shield Bash part of the combo, but thanks to guard, you can block attacks and skip to the heavy hitting moves first, then you can follow it up with the slash combos. So, not only are you dealing KO blunt damage, you're also maximizing your DPS. So why 3 points in guard? Won't 2 points be enough? Sadly, no. With only 2 points in guard, most monster attacks will still knock us back and deal chip damage. But with 3 points of guard, you can block almost all monster attacks with no knockback and most importantly, no chip damage. This allows us to stay in front of the monster's head and follow up with the Shield Bash combo. In my experience, 2 points in guard is simply not enough, mainly because of the knockback. After getting knocked back, you can follow it up with the Rising Slash that deals good damage and ends with the Shield Slam that can also KO monsters. But it's a super risky move. This move is such a huge commitment since you can't dodge in the air, and most of the time I get hit because of it. I'm not a fan of the Rising Slash into Shield Slam, so this build has 3 points in guard. So it's important to know which attacks you can block and which attacks will still push you back. Huge attacks like running charge attacks will still knock you back, so it's better to dodge these types of attacks. Now if you do manage to pull off a perfect dodge, you will also skip the first part of the Sword and Shield combo and go directly into the Shield Bash combo. So why not just go for perfect dodges? You get the damage bonus on your next attack, plus you get to switch out the guard skill for more offensive skills. Well, perfect dodges are so much riskier to do, and it's harder to position yourself in front of the monster's head to deal KO damage. So that's why I prefer blocking attacks so I can stay in front of the monster to deal that KO damage. But yes, in some cases it's better to dodge than to block attacks. Knocking out monsters with the Sword and Shield would be impossible without the Slugger skill. We need that extra buff to our stun power. Without Slugger, monsters would usually die before we can even knock them out. 5-star monsters tend to die too fast before we can knock them out, so this build really shines against 6-star monsters and above, where the monsters are tankier and can take more hits from the Shield Bash combo. Now, the goal of this build is to stun lock monsters. The paralysis status effect helps us achieve this goal by paralyzing the monster in place, making it easier for us to hit its head. Good thing shield attacks in Monster Hunter Now also deal status effects. After the monster gets paralyzed, it usually gets knocked out right after, allowing us to continue with our combos and deal huge amounts of damage. Now, is this build optimal? No, of course not. The monster usually gets KO'd with only a few seconds left on the clock. But is this build fun? Hell yeah! There's just something so satisfying about stun locking monsters and attacking them when they are so helpless. That's why I love the Sword and Shield. It's so flexible. It can cut tails, KO monsters, and effectively deal status effects. It's like a Swiss Army knife. It can do everything. And for me, the game gets boring if you stick with the meta builds like crit, affinity, attack boost, and elemental damage. I prefer using the fun and creative builds. So if you're using a unique build, share it in the comments. I'd love to try it out. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like to support the channel, and for more creative Monster Hunter Now builds, hit that subscribe button. Feel free to check out my other videos, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.